Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Hello again, and welcome to Programme 18 of our 28 daily programmes coming to you direct from Radisson Blu Hotel in the heart of Edinburgh. I'm Stuart Cameron, and in today's programme I'll be joined in the studio by Australian comedian Felicity Ward. I meet with one of the stars and the director of a fabulous new play called Atticwife, which is one of my favourite shows from the Fringe so far. I meet up with Maxwell the Bubbleologist, who's the man behind the amazing Flying Bubble show. And there's a chat with Edinburgh's Renaissance, who excel at playing traditional music from days gone by, using traditional instruments of the time. But first, some music from Fringe favourite Ali Affleck. This is one of her songs.
Once I lived the life of a millionaire, spending my money, I didn't care, taking my friends out for a mighty good time, buying high-class liquor, champagne and wine. Soon things started to go so low, and I didn't have a dime, no place to go. When I get my hands on the dollar again, I'm gonna squeeze it till that eagle grins, 'cause nobody knows you when you are down and out. In your pockets there's not one penny, and all those friends you had, well, now you haven't any. But soon you get on your feet again, and you'll happen to meet all those fair weather friends. It's such a shame, without a doubt, nobody knows you when you're down and out. Nobody knows you when you are down and out. In your pockets not one single penny, and all those friends you had, well, now you haven't any. But soon you get on your feet again, and you'll happen to see all those fair weather friends. I learned my lesson, Lord knows, without a doubt, nobody knows you. Nobody needs you when you're down and down.
Ali Affleck, who's been doing blues shows and also country music shows at various venues on the Fringe this year. And I've been a big fan over the last few days because we've only just discovered her. And that's what this programme is all about, discovering new talent as well as playing some of the favourites and meeting up with, of course, great comedians, magicians and actors as well. Well, we all love bubble shows, of course, and there's plenty of them at the Fringe, and they're all very, very good. But the Flying Bubble Show is exceptional. I saw it last night. I was blown away, literally. And Maxwell the Bubbleologist is with me now, and I must congratulate you on what was a magical show yesterday. Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
Now, you're from South Africa. Not your first Fringe. You've been here a couple of times before. It's the first time I've actually seen you. As I say, blown away by the effort that went into it and the performance itself. And of course, it's inside a small circus tent, which is ideal. And of course, you're able to fly around the place. And that's the thing, I think, which really gives it that little bit of extra something, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the fact that bubbles fly and they shine beautifully and then you can fly with them. And a lot of what I do with bubbles is actually just affecting the wind around them, and flight adds a whole other level of wind effect, really. And so I'm utilizing that as well as utilizing the heights. Like the bubbles make trails, and so for them to be able to make those long spiral trails with me, it's just it's a beautiful effect.
Fantastic effect. And I mean, you must be delighted to be able to kind of find a venue like that, which is sort of suits you right down to the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was... I came to the Edinburgh to the Fringe before, and I went to that venue when I was in a very small black box venue, and I was like, this would be perfect for my flying show.
Has it always been a flying show, in fact?
Yeah, for 12 years. That was my career. From London doing children's parties, developing it to, I've done many other Fringes, just as a bubble show.
And it really takes it to another level, no doubt about that. And the use of different kinds of... I was just going to ask you, actually, because, I mean, when we were younger, we use fairy liquid or whatever washing up liquid. Other brands are available. But it doesn't seem to kind of make the bubbles as strong as your mixture that you use. Is it a special mix that you use, or...?
I use the term flexibility. I edit the bubble mixture... per venue, per show. It's like a chemical art form. Once you understand the chemistry, and that's also a relationship to the environment. Some countries are drier. I perform in Australia a lot, and I have to adapt the bubble mixture for each venue. And it's also difficult because when it's a sold out crowd, then you have 500 human radiators in there, and you actually have to adjust the bubble mixture, sometimes live. But that can make the show all the better. Is if the bubbles are failing because it's a really hot day, then I can make some adjustments live in the show, and then the results are very clear. That adds a really nice live element to it. I have misting fans go off to add more humidity to the air, but then I also add other chemicals to destroy all the froth going on. There's a lot of different mechanisms in my show now to help maintain. I can control. It's kind of like a bubble atmospheric control system that I've made.
And it's beautifully lit as well, which really brings out the colours, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the huge parts of it, is just that beautiful iridescent colour that the bubbles bring out, and the matte system that I have designed, which is a system that can take aerial flight, so it's got soft padding, but it's also got some grip because it's a slippery stage, and then it also refracts the light beautifully to give it those spectacular colours you see.
So how do you come to put the format of the show together? Because this is a show which builds and builds to the climax, doesn't it? And you've obviously worked on it a long time.
I like the idea that most people don't know anything about bubbles, apart from that you can just blow them and pop them. People don't expect too much from a bubble show. They expect just that. You're going to blow some bubbles and that's it. Most people don't even think there's much artistry or skill to it. And so in my format, I like to have that just build and build until it just gets further to the point that it's way more than people imagined you can do with bubbles, really.
And of course, kids absolutely love it. But my goodness, there was a lot of older kids in there.
And that's really important for me, because if adults are just as involved, then they're sharing that experience with their children. And when I think about what's the best result for a family coming to my show, is it that they see the best bubble? Is it that they laugh the loudest or the hardest? Or is it that the bond between the parent and the child is closer and they can share that memory throughout their life? And that's what I believe is the best result of my show. And so if I have things that the adults will love just as much, if I keep them involved, it's a shared experience, and I think that's the best.
And of course, being in the round as well. If everyone is so close up to what you're doing, and that definitely adds to the experience.
Definitely, yeah. And the fact that I can perform 360, I can make the bubbles spiral out in every direction, it makes the round my favorite stage type.
And you're always, I suppose, reinventing yourself, aren't you? There's always things that you could be doing and putting into the act, etc. And presumably the bubble community, if you like, because as I say, there's quite a few shows on, and everyone kind of has their own way of presenting, don't they? And obviously there's small bubbles, there's large bubbles, there's smoke-filled bubbles, which is one of my favourites. The effect you get from that. Square bubbles, even, of course, which can be done. What's your own kind of pièce de résistance?
There is just with one simple bubble, there is a movement that I do where I can just move the air around it and levitate the bubble really gently. It's kind of like doing Tai Chi with bubbles. It's very gentle. I mean, there's so many different bubble tricks and different bubble styles you can go into. But for me, actually, just that simple activity has actually become one of my favorite over the years.
And we see so many magicians, of course, working at the Fringe. There are literally hundreds of them. They're all doing different things. And there comes the point where you think, well, where can it go? Things that you'd like to do and maybe create something which has never been seen before. Is that the ultimate aim?
Exactly what I'm trying to do. And I definitely am at a point now of expansion to wanting to turn into a full production where it's not just myself on the stage. I want to move more into the kind of visionary director role of the whole thing. Bubble shows are I relate it to how magicians were back in the days. When tricks were very secret and there weren't many of them, and whatever you were doing was very unique to you. Bubble shows have been around for a while, but still they're relatively undeveloped compared to every other art form. For a long time it's just been blowing bubbles, but I have a lot of ideas of how I want to expand that into other art form modalities and to be entwining those together. It's just really difficult when you're dealing with production companies like that, as they deal with a different type of business model, I guess, and trying to cross those two together.
So is the ultimate ambition, I suppose, to have your own theatrical tour, I suppose, and go out for like 2 months on end, the world tour, and become like the number one bubble show in the world? Because no one's really captured that market, have they yet?
No,
is
they haven't.
That on the agenda?
That's exactly where I'm heading. I've been spending most of my time these days on development, performing. It's quite limited with developing the show at the moment because it is an aerial show, so it requires obviously the aerial truss, but then it also requires me covering those spaces in soap, which a lot of those spaces don't really want. They want, non-slip material. No, they don't want anything slippery around. So that's definitely a hurdle that I face with it, is having the right space to develop it to that level. But that is exactly what I'm trying to make right now.
That's very exciting.
A lot of it is applying my bubble knowledge and getting it extended out of my brain into stage set designs and things that people would be able to follow that wouldn't require them to spend 12 years blowing bubbles like I have. It's kind of translating that skill and being able to teach it and apply it into other ways, which is what I'm doing already.
Well, obviously, there'll be a lot of people watching you on YouTube and stuff like that, but there's nothing which quite beats the experience of being there. So all these clips that we see online is wonderful, and it's a great trailer. But to actually be there and immerse yourself in one of your performances is what it's all about. And,
with the 3D spheres flying past you, and to be in that atmosphere of, 500 people just smiling. And to be around that kind of joy, that universal quality of joy that I speak about in the show, that really is something quite beautiful, especially you want to go take a look at the news and you see, oh wow, everything looks very divided, doesn't it? And then you go into this room where it doesn't matter where people are from.
Yeah, and there's a lovely bit in your show as well, doesn't it, where you talk about bubbles in different languages. And it's lovely. It's something that brings everyone together. And just for an hour, it's nice to escape from all the nonsense that's going on at the moment around us and see your bubble show.
And to be able to give people, it's not going to change all their problems in the world and those greater movements, but it can... sometimes even just that moment of getting out of that loop that people are in, whatever loop their mind is going through, just to have a breath out of that, that could be all they need to start their journey of changing their mind or to affecting their day a little bit different,
Yeah, therapy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It can be if I do my job right.
Absolutely, which you do in spades. It's at the Venue 360, which is called The Beauty. It's in the mini circus tent. You can't miss it, of course, as you come into Edinburgh. Underbelly's Circus Hub. It's on till August the 29th, 3:10 every afternoon. And, well, it gets 5 stars from me. Thanks so much for coming in, Maxwell.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Next up, it's the first part of our Royal Mile walk from earlier today.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame, from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
Black Blues Brothers, let's twist again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5 p.m. at McEwen Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Two sisters, one man, a history neither of them fully understands. Becca, a painter, moves into architect Charlie's flat, and the two quickly form a bond far deeper than either expected. But when miscommunication leaves their relationship unresolved, Becca's older sister Emily returns from traveling and unexpectedly falls for Charlie, unaware of everything that came before. As feelings collide and buried truths begin to surface, 3 lives become dangerously intertwined. A story of love, timing, sisterhood, and what happens when nobody says what they really mean. Almost everything is on at Bra Venues. Grand Lodge Venue 7 at 12 noon every day until August the 30th, except for the 26th. Tickets from edfringe.com.
We're broadcasting from the Radisson Blu Hotel, Edinburgh City Centre, surrounded by the buzz of the Royal Mile, where you can recharge, refuel and jump straight back into the festive fun. With the space on the Mile based here, 7 theatres are filled with performances from morning until night every day of the Fringe. If you want to be at the centre of the action, this is the right place.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, we're at Friday already. Gosh, we're nearly into our third week and our final week next week. But first, we have work to be done on the Royal Mile, heading up to the top. And first out of the blocks, Frogs in Bogs. That almost rhymed, didn't it?
It nearly
Now,
does.
you're a Welsh person. I get very, very shy about Welsh people and pronunciations.
That's okay.
What is your name?
My name's Heledd.
Heleth.
Yeah, Heledd was a 6th century Welsh princess, and I try and live up to that every
All
day.
right. Is that spelt with about 5 D's at the end?
2 Ds. Two Ds.
Just the two?
That's enough.
Do you like rugby?
I do like rugby.
What's
yeah.
going wrong there?
We're just, we're just training up a new young team. Watch us in 10 years, we're just going to be winning everything.
Yeah, there are a lot of youngsters coming forward. They're still the same result. Are you going for the coaching job? Or?
I would do very well, actually. Yeah,
Well, you can't do any
quite
worse,
bossy.
can you? Let's be honest. Slagging off Welsh rugby is shocking,
this
isn't
is a
it?
strong start to an interview, isn't it?
I know. It's Friday, you see. It's Friday, and Saturday's rugby day, you see.
Okay, fine.
Shall we talk about frogs and bogs?
I think our frogs would be excellent rugby players, though, because, they're
People.
strong, they're unblocking clogs, they're sorting out the world.
Okay, so we move on from rugby.
Yes, we should.
Tell me about Frogs in Bogs.
Frogs and Bogs is a family show that's happening in the Pleasance Green courtyard at 1:30 every day. It's really silly. It's full of music. It has an environmental focus. It has a lot of unclogging fart noises, which kids go wild for.
They love it, don't they?
Oh, they love it. And we've been having so much fun, and the audiences have been really, really lovely and wonderful. And we've sold out a few shows, so we're really happy. We got a 5-star review, and we're just upwards to the end of the run. We're trying to hold on to every bit of energy we have.
Now, talking of energy, you have one of your colleagues here who's like front and centre on the poster, and she's run down, isn't she? She's not actually going to talk to us today. You can probably say hello.
You're right.
Yeah, well, that's all we're going to get out of her today, I think. Very shy young lady.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Our performers are wonderful, and it's a lot of energy to put into a show. Luckily, we have 3 cast members, and they swap roles in every show. So they're multi-talented. One of them's on the tech, one of them's doing clowning, a silent role, and then one of them has a speaking role. And they swap every time. So that's a lot of stuff for them to learn, but we're really proud of them. I'm so proud of them.
Okay, so who are you?
Hello, I'm Ellen, and
multitasking, are you?
Yes, multi-talented, multitasker. Yeah, there we are.
Very good. Now, I should say that there's no way you're going to get run over in Edinburgh at all, are you? Because you were in this day glow pink and green, but it has to be, doesn't it? Because it's frogs that we're talking about here. And you've already got, shortlisted for the Sit-Up Awards. What are they?
It's basically just how many sit-ups you could do in 5 minutes. No, I'm joking. It's about...
Back to rugby again.
Well, it's the awards about being activists for climate change, and we touch on how our waterways are being contaminated with poo, and we get the kids involved into being activists, working together. We get them to write a little bit for their MPs, and then we send them for them after the run then.
So you're all Welsh, aren't you?
Yes.
So whereabouts in Wales?
I'm from Llandyfri in Carmarthenshire.
Llandyfri.
Llandyfri.
Pretty good.
Yeah. That was
By
very
the way,
good.
Can we test you out with Llanelli? Is that how it works?
I'm a Welsh speaker, so it's Llanelli.
Llanelli.
You need to.
Sorry, I just
spit.
spat all over you.
That's what it's about, though. You should be spitting from both sides of your tongue.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Gosh, you're doing the whole run apart from the 17th, all the way through to the 31st of August. It's at the Green, Pleasance Courtyard. 1:30 every day. That's obviously venue number 33, but then there's about 5,000 venues at number 33. So get there early. Make sure you get into the Green at the Pleasance Courtyard. We wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you so much. Lovely speaking to you.
Best of luck for Wales this season.
You watch out. You watch out. I have
hidden.
faith.
Are they the silent giants?
Absolutely. They're just warming up. Just very slowly warming up.
Very slow, they're hardly moving. Anyway, all the best of luck with Frogs in Bogs. And I'm going to move over here because Baby Brain, starring Kimberly Nixon, is a play about motherhood, mental health and stand-up gags. And I think we have the writer here. You're the writer?
Writer and director, yeah.
And director?
Yeah.
And what is your name?
My name is Danny Stack. We co-wrote and co-directed this with my colleague Tim Clegg, and myself, Tim, and Kim are like a trio, a dynamic trio. We've made this one-woman show for Kim to be in, and it's about a new mum struggling with postpartum psychosis. So it's a very serious topic, but we've made it into a comedy.
And this seems to be a recurring theme along the Fringe this year, is that there are some really dark subjects, but being treated in a comedy way, which kind of softens the blow a little bit to get the message.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the things we wanted to do when we were developing the project, was like, we discovered that comedy was a great way of coping with the distress and the challenge of what the condition is like, postpartum psychosis. Kimberly herself has experienced perinatal OCD and has talked a lot about that online, and so we got to know more about postpartum psychosis and that postpartum kind of world of beyond baby brain, you know, not just in terms of being a little bit scattered or a little bit tired. It's something that really affects you and can really throw your sense of sanity, you know, and it's really disorientating. And so what our play tries to do is show you what that is like in a very challenging and very personal and a very intimate way, but make you laugh as well. Because the character that we've created is somebody who's trying to be a stand-up comedian, but she's stuck in a mother and baby unit suffering from postpartum psychosis. So she tries out new gags as a way to kind of explain and cope with what she's experiencing.
So how long from start to finish to getting it ready for the Fringe has that taken?
We started writing it last year, early last year, and we got a first draft after all the research that we did in about 3 or 4 months. And then after that, Stuart, it was really important for us to just keep moving, get it on its feet as quickly as possible. So we just started rehearsing and rewriting from the rehearsals. And then we got a world premiere in Cardiff, Kim's Wales. She lives in Pontypridd. But we did a world premiere in Porters in Cardiff, and that was just so great. We got a 5-star review from the Edit in Wales, and that was just gave us confidence to take it forward, take it to other fringes. We took it to Manchester Fringe, Camden Fringe, and now we're here at Edinburgh. We start today. We haven't even done our first show. So we're just so excited to be here, you know.
Yeah, I think Kimberly's out getting a massage at the moment, getting prepared mentally and physically.
She gets it. Yeah, it's a physical performance from her. It's a very emotional performance from her. So she's getting a little bit of TLC this morning. But I'm hoping to bring her back to meet you because she's so great. She's so great in performance and she's great in interviews. So she's just lovely.
Well, you were one of the ones who knocked on the Fringe Radio door today, which shows tremendous initiative when people track us down. You're not the first either, which is great to see. So the word's getting round, and of course you'll no doubt get Kimberly to do this next week when we're back at the Fringe.
Indeed, yeah, and we'll have some more reviews and more momentum to share.
Absolutely. Well, let's give it a plug. It's 4:40 at the Assembly George Square, Studio 3. Starts today. It goes all the way through to the 30th of August, and it's called Baby Brain, starring Kimberly Nixon, and I'm sure we're going to be talking more about this later on in the week. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Stuart.
So a fun start and a serious start to the Royal Mile Walk for today. It's Friday the 21st of August, and we're now going to cross the road at Northbridge and head up the Royal Mile. On to the next show, and it's A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is in Venue 9 at Nidri Street, where I was yesterday seeing a really, really good play called Atticwife. But A Midsummer Night's Dream is going to be there. Tom is with me. You're starring in this.
Yes.
Tell us about the play.
Yes, so it's a classic Shakespeare's reimagined take on it with slightly modernised, and I played Theseus and Oberon, if anyone knows the play well. And it's a family-friendly, good fun comedy under the chaos of A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's a really good show, and if anyone is listening, we have a promo code, BOTTOM, all caps, and you can get 2 for 1.
It's 12:40 tomorrow. They can come along to Venue 9 at the space at Nidri Street and see Tom doing A Midsummer Night's Dream, a bit of Shakespeare. And you've come up from Hertfordshire, haven't you?
Yeah, all the way from Hertfordshire. We're a part of a school trip. So we're part of a Green Shoots Theatre Company from our school, and we've been here since Sunday. And it's sorry, I'm very nervous. This is my first ever radio interview.
Oh, it's just relax. Everything will be fine. It'll be fine. So it's your first Fringe as well, presumably.
Yes, my very first Fringe. Hopefully not my last. Very enjoyable so far. We've done 4 shows, I believe, and I really enjoy it.
Fantastic. Well, all the best of luck with it tomorrow.
Yes.
And haste ye back to Edinburgh.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Well, it's always nice to return to the scene of the crime of certain people. And I think very early in the run, we spoke to the guy doing Plonka, Tim Bigelow. And you were in exactly the same place as you have been. So I think you split your time between here for about 20 hours and then you're doing your show, of course. Tell us once again what it's all about.
Yeah, so it is about travel. It's about achieving your dreams, right? So I am the plonker, right? So we've got all the ups, all the downs. I've been living as a digital nomad for a bit.
Don't be too hard on yourself, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, self-depreciation is a part of my style of comedy, and yeah, I'm high energy. We got lots of stories. It's basically just what I've been up to this year, and yeah, it's been really fun so far. Like
getting some big crowds.
Yeah, getting some big crowds. I always tell people to turn up early, and I have people that come back year on year as well. This is my 4th time flying at this exact spot every day.
Flying expert.
Exactly. Yeah, I can only sell myself though for some reason. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm just used to it, and
you can do it in a self-deprecating way, of course, which people love.
Yeah, exactly, man. So
and clearly, leafleting does work.
Oh, it definitely does. Yeah, it definitely does. Eye contact and a smile goes a long way.
Brilliant.
And yeah, just being polite as well. I think, like, yeah.
When are you actually on till?
I'm on till the 29th. So till yeah, I've got 8 more shows left. So
okay. And that's 12:15 every day at the 53 Blackfriars Street, which is the Slow Progress Cafe, and it's non-ticketed and free to get in, and you pay to get out.
Yeah. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to. Just come and watch the show, man.
I'm sure they will.
Yes, thank you, mate.
Nice to see you.
Nice one.
Thanks for coming, Mary. Would you like a wee dram?
No thanks, McGregor. I'll only end up paying for it.
You always think the worst of me. For all time's sake, have a gin.
What do you want from me, McGregor?
Mary, I've known you a long, long time. I can talk to you.
Just speak your mind.
We were always close, wouldn't you say? We were the best in our day. Every man loved you back then,
including you,
including me. You were a beautiful, sexy kitten, but most of all, you would listen. Mary, I'm lonely, it's getting worse each day.
I've always longed to hear you talk this way.
Do you want to see me happy?
Yes, I do.
Then tell Jean I love her, I'll be in debt to you.
In my day, you said I was one of the best. What you trying to do to me? You hurt me every time I look at you. Like a simpleton, I wear it so patiently. You get pleasure out my pain, I know you do.
So you think I'm a bad man? Well, maybe you're right. Maybe I am. But I had nothing.
We all had nothing.
No one or nothing but myself.
And who's to blame for that?
Just as well.
We all have to pay for that.
'Cause I'm not one of your dribbling, sniveling little cowards.
What is strength?
Who for hours
What is power? If you follow every loss,
what a pity that they swallow
you're so shallow.
all the pride and hide behind the mother's apron, morning, noon, and night.
You're no better.
It's pathetic.
Pathetic.
What are you staring at? Do you want some of this? Do you want some of that? I'll find any of you, every one of you. I'll put you through the wall, every last one of you. I've never been afraid of any man, so come on, anyone, take me if you can. So you think I'm a bad man? Maybe you're right. So what if I am?
That's a track from the Celtic rock musical Edinburgh Days and a song called Bad Man.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Fringe Radio.
Well, they say watching a Felicity Ward comedy gig is like a roller coaster. Material coming at you from all angles, a very fast pace. There's certainly no time to switch off, and she relentlessly delivers joke after joke. And Felicity joins me now. Welcome to the Fringe.
Thank you very much. It's my first time back here in 8 years.
You're buzzing.
I wasn't sure how I would feel coming back. And it's like, no, it's not like I've never left. I actually have an excitement for it that I haven't had. It feels like I'm starting again in some ways.
Why has it taken 8 years?
Well, the last time I did it, it was my 8th year, and I had just had a dream run. I sold out nearly every night. Every show was fun. At the beginning of the festival, I found out that I was doing live at the Apollo for the first time.
Yeah.
I was living with 2 of my closest friends, so I had fun every night. And then at the end, I got nominated. I'm like, do I ever want to do this again? Like, I did it. I finished it. And then the next year, I got pregnant, and then the next year was COVID. And then, then I was had a baby, and it just didn't feel possible. Then there was divorce, and then I had some TV shows that happened at the same time, so I didn't get it. And then I just wrote a show at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, and it felt like it was time.
What a story already. There's half the interview done.
Mate, that's half the show. I did basically the show is about how I separated from my ex-husband. And I had never dated many people before, and because apps didn't really exist. And then after a year, my sister was like, "Oh, you should go on apps." I'm like, "I don't think they're for me." And then she was like, I'll set your profile up, go on one date. And then it turns out they were for me. And I went on 50 dates in a 2-year period. And then I did Dancing with the Stars Australia, not at the same time. And all of it just changed my life.
50 dates?
50. It's like a part-time job, isn't it?
Were you going for the dates or just looking for something a bit more permanent?
No, I was looking for anything. I was like, I think that was the thing, is that when I was younger, I don't think I knew how much shame I had around dating or sex or people, and I came out as bisexual while I was married, and that wasn't the reason that the marriage ended at all. I just didn't know that about myself. It couldn't come to the surface. I got to date women for the first time, non-binary people for the first time, and it was just like when I was younger, I was with someone from age 18 to 26. So all of those drunken experimental years were with one person. And I don't drink anymore, so I just had my experimental years in my 40s, very, very sober.
So where are you now?
Now I kind of, after I did Dancing with the Stars, I sort of felt like I got all of my exploring and dating years behind me, and I was like, I'm open to meet someone. I'd been single for 3 years. I didn't feel like I had to be in a relationship. It wasn't a necessity, but I was like, I'm open to it. I ended up matching with someone on an app, and then it turns out that we knew each other on Twitter 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we went on a date that night, and now I'm madly in love.
A happy ending.
Yeah.
My intro, as you know, talked about a roller coaster, a fast delivery, and I think you've proved that already.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday, actually.
Yeah.
For the very first time, because my goodness, your reputation as a stand-up comedian is fantastic.
Oh.
I could have ended that with another word.
Your reputation is awful. People warn me away from you.
But it's all good stuff. And you mentioned TV there. You've done films as well, and I'm interested as well because you're in. I don't know if you're still in, but one of your most recent things was the Australian version of The Office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm in it as much as I could be in it, in that it did one series and then we didn't get renewed for a second series. But it was, it was like the greatest job I'll ever have. I got to turn up every day and just be funny for 10 hours, and it was a dream role, and the writer was amazing and the directors were amazing, and what else could you ask for?
And how different to the English version was it, Ricky Gervais's version?
It's sort of halfway, I think, between the British version and the American version, in that it's not as cynical as the British version. And that's not a criticism at all. There are some things that Brits can do that Australians can't, and there's some things that Australians can do that British people can't. What Australians can do, in just culturally, I can be very direct with people And British people can find that incredibly confronting when you ask for your needs to be met or if you point out a problem just openly without like apologising first and like layering it within like 600 compliments. In Australia, you can just sort of say, hey, this is the problem, how do we fix this? And British people are like, oh no, oh don't do that. Whereas I think British people in comedy, they can do cynicism in a way that feels really funny and very authentic at the same time. That was sort of the beginning of cringe comedy and mockumentary style at the beginning of the 2000s. So our version is a little bit warmer. Kind of accidentally, I had never seen an episode of The American Office before I filmed it. And then I came back and I'd finished filming and I was like, I should probably watch this. And I started on the second series because that's what everyone said to do. And I started on the first episode. I was like, oh, Steve Carell's quite talented, isn't he? I'm glad I didn't watch this before.
And what about the British version with Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant and all these people have gone on to wonderful things?
I loved the British Office. Did
you get it as an Australian? Because obviously,
yeah. It was huge in Australia. It changed. It changed the way millennial men spoke. Like it completely changed the vernacular of every man my age. I'm a little bit older than some of my friends, so they were all millennials. Everyone spoke like Ricky Gervais for 10 years. It changed everything, you know.
So who are your comedy heroes? Let's start with Australia, first of all, because I seem to bump into, I think, the whole of Australia's comic talent. There's Eloise Eftos, Annie Boyle, who I absolutely adore, and, Grace Jarvis, who's on the programme as well. The Listies from Australia, we've had them on the programme. We've had loads of Australians.
I haven't seen them for ages. Yeah, there's so many Aussies over here. When I think about like inspirational comedy heroes, I sort of think back to when I was a kid, and there is a comic called Judith Lucy who I think you'd be hard pressed to find any woman in stand-up comedy that hasn't been influenced by her, because she was such an original voice. She was actually very droll, very sarcastic, and she was such a breath of fresh air when she happened. Because at the time, it was like women weren't really even allowed to be on stage. There's a comic called Wendy Harmer, and then she went on to have sort of an illustrious radio career in Australia. And she was the first woman to ever MC the London Comedy Store. I think she ended up pouring a beer on someone's head, or someone threw a beer at her. Like, that's what comedy used to be in the 80s for women. It was so aggressive. So yeah, Judith is probably like my icon, but also what is happening in Australian stand-up. I think from living in the UK, I get to gig so much over here. When I go back, I have such an appreciation of what Australians are creating with so much less stage time. They still do like loads of festivals back to back, but in between those, in the year round, they don't get the same amount of stage time that we do over here. And so the quality of the work, I don't know if you've seen Kate Dennett's show Echo.
No.
Oh boy, it is like, I watched it and I've seen a lot of stand-up, and it's not a stand-up show per se. It's stand-up, but it's also set to a dance track, to like a rave track. And I felt really inspired after watching it. And I remember I was watching it last week. She's at the Pleasance. And I remember watching it going, I'm not as brave as I used to be. Like she's making really big swings and really big creative choices. And it feels like this year, I don't know if it's been like this or I just forgot that it used to be like this, that Fringe work is really being celebrated at the Fringe. And so like people like Elf Lyons who are doing these, just making huge creative swings. It's really ballsy to do that, and that there is such an incredible amount of people that come to these shows with a willingness to enjoy that and to get on board with whatever someone is doing. It's just thrilling.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that as well. I mean, particularly audiences which are a little bit thin on the ground, for instance, particularly difficult for a comic to go up there in front of 12 people. But then, having said all that, it's almost like, having friends round and they're in your living room. albeit sometimes it's a big empty space, but it's just getting into that mindset, I suppose, that, you know, you're there to do a job, these people are there to be entertained, and if they're up for it, not a problem.
Yeah. I mean, you ask any comic, you'd rather play to 10 people that are having the time of their life to 150 people that are apathetic.
How do you deal with them?
Well, it depends on the difficulty. My second year here, I didn't know that I had an anxiety disorder. And then I started having panic attacks on stage during Fringe. So that was my second year. And I lost my mind. I just couldn't. I think the hardest thing about Edinburgh is the compare and despair, where you see reviews everywhere, you see your friends succeeding, you see people selling out, and it's really hard not to compare yourself. There's so much to doing a full run. I'm only doing a half run, and I am very grateful for that, Stuart. Let me tell you. I'm 3 days in, I'm like, I couldn't do 30 of these.
No.
Not back to back, not at my age. Those days have to be behind me, surely.
And yet some of them do it. And it's, I mean, we're doing like 28 shows in 28 days, and it's it looked good on paper until you actually do it. And we're into the second half now, and it's kind of like, it's like hitting the wall in the marathon, I suppose. You know, you come to a point, but then you get over the wall, and then
it's home stretch.
Yeah, it's the home stretch. You can see the end of it, and then you want it to kind of go on even further.
Then you're like, I've got a couple more days in me.
Yes, but it's really, really good fun. And it's interesting you mentioned that about the anxiety and stuff, because you're a big campaigner for mental health, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been diagnosed with everything. Once I was diagnosed with a generalised anxiety disorder, I felt really angry that no one was talking about it, because you feel so, well, back in the day, it's not the same now, but back in the day, no one was talking about it at all. And so then I started writing stand-up about it, and not because I was trying to change anyone or save anyone. It was just, I always write about what's going on in my life. The harder something is in real life, the bigger challenge it is to make it funny. So that's really exciting to me. I did a show in 2015 called What If There Is No Toilet? And that was about my anxiety and my IBS. And that felt like a real change in my career, in that all of a sudden I had people in the audience. I had a noticeable amount of people in the audience that were clearly, they had experienced anxiety or depression or mental health problems. And all of a sudden it felt like it was our club, and the general public were invited, but they were guests, as opposed to general public are the main audience, and then people who, you know, might suffer from social anxiety, for example, they would go to shows on the hope that they didn't have a panic attack or they weren't pointed out in the audience. And so all of a sudden it was like the reverse. That was a really cool time for me. And then from that, I've had depression, and I've had postnatal depression, and, you know, it's not a mental illness, but it's a disorder. I've just been diagnosed with ADHD. I think that my shows are somewhere that people can laugh at what they have without feeling like I'm making fun of them. We're laughing at it together. And then, again, other people are invited to come and laugh with us, not at us.
And so many people can just relate to what you're saying on stage, which is half the battle. It's, as you say, it's talking about it.
Yeah, and some people, I think, will not be comfortable talking to other people about it, but it will be a relief to them that something that I say, because I'm not really someone that pulls punches when it comes to what I'm going through. If I'm not relatable to someone, they will laugh at me to sort of go, oh my God, I'm glad that's not me. But there will be some people who have secretly experienced what I've gone through, and will be able to get some relief having a little laugh to themselves, because they don't have the support or the community or the courage, which is also understandable, to talk about it to other people. You know, it can be, that's the thing with mental illness. You can really live in your head by yourself with it.
And you're the classic example, really, because, you know, on the surface, you know, bubbly personality, you know, very high-spirited, that sort of thing. And yet, as you said, you've been diagnosed with quite a few things.
Yeah, I describe myself as an upbeat depressive. Because I think my default is that I am a pretty joyful person. Like, that's who I think I am at my core. But then I reckon for the last 5 months, it's kind of like I mean, it is depression, but it's like I couldn't feel anything. And for someone who feels everything, it was like probably the first time in my life that I've been through it, and it was awful. And just knowing intellectually that you're enjoying something, or you're somewhere good, but feeling absolutely nothing about it, or something really bad happening and you're going, oh, that's really bad, and feeling nothing about it. you know.
Turning the subject back to the sort of the comedy again and your own career, you've got a list of films and television work that you've done, which has obviously been fantastic for you. And you mentioned it earlier, the Live at the Apollo gig, which for any comedian, that's got to be a real feather in the cap. Sadly, of course, it's no longer.
I know.
You know, a lot of people have mixed feelings about it because a lot of people felt that it was going down a different route and it was having less stars and it was ticking more boxes. Has been one criticism of it, I suppose. But the fact that it's not there anymore, it certainly left a legacy. But at the time, at its peak, when you appeared on it, it was one of the top-rated shows.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting that phone call, like especially because I'm Australian, you know, like there are cultural institutions that exist in the UK that you learn about when you're younger in Australia. And then to come over here and to be a part of that is just unbelievable. It was a really big room. It's like 3,000 people, something like that, and something that I hadn't accounted for. I spoke to lots of people who had done it before and they gave me really good advice. Something I hadn't accounted for is if you say something funny and only 400 people clap out of 3,000, you've got to then make a choice of whether you keep talking over them or if you let it spread. And to let it spread is like takes a lot of nuts. But I hadn't considered that would happen, and so on the night I found myself sort of like trying to figure that out. The edit was great, but then I got to do it last year. I don't think it shows in what happened on TV because the set that I did was about 22 minutes and they edited it down to 14. But the set in the room is in my top 10 gig of all time.
But it's interesting because I think back in the old days they had one big star who was there hosting it and brought them on.
Yes.
And I think as it went further down its run, it was more kind of totally unknown. So you needed that personality that everybody knows, at least one of them on the programme. And I think they went the other way and the ratings dropped, of course. And as soon as the ratings drop, it's game over.
Yeah, well, I think that there's also happened with ratings across the board is the advent of internet comedy. And the same thing happened with, you know, if you look at the sitcoms prior to 2005, there is however many massive hits every year for the BBC, for any channel, huge sitcoms. 2005 YouTube starts. Have a look at the sitcoms that happened after then, because the entire landscape of television changed. All of a sudden people were digesting and consuming and seeking comedy out in another form. That's exactly what's happened again with, you know, like, and there are pros and cons to that. You think of Jen Brister, for example. She did Apollo maybe the year before me, and she killed it. She did so great. She'd been around for years. She's an incredible comedian. And that helped her. But actually what happened is she used those Apollo clips during COVID. She went viral, and now she tours the world.
Yeah.
So there's people, I think COVID also changed the way people consume comedy. It's like, it's a bit scary for comedians to know how we move forward if we're not just doing a podcast or just filming every gig, because now what we're doing, rather than just writing our stuff, performing our stuff, honing it, traveling, doing all of that, now we have to film it, we have to edit it, we have to post it, we have to do updates, we have to have a podcast, we have to film the podcast. You can't just listen to the podcast, you know. And lots of us are in this business because we're creative, and lots of us have, you know, a neurodivergent and have naturally come to this because it is a chaotic lifestyle, that it's not just like you have to do this and you have to do that. Like I couldn't sit in an office, ironically, for 8 hours a day. I don't know how people work in offices. I've worked in hospitality. It's not like I'm a career comedian or anything. I worked in hospitality for a decade. But hospitality, I got to meet different people every day. And even if I was working with someone that I didn't get along with, I would still be stimulated by hundreds of other people that I'd meet in the day. The idea of working in an office with people that don't get along and you have no choice, I don't know how people do it. I'd have to say something. I'll get in a fight.
What the internet does do, though, it consumes so much material. And once it's out there, you know, the pressure's on you to come up time after time with something new.
Well, it used to be that once something had been on television, you could never do it again. It was burnt. And that's sort of why people got paid very well to do these slots, because again, there was a big divide in mid-2000s where there were comedians that had been doing the same set for like 10 years around the UK, making loads of money. They've all got houses, you know. And then YouTube comes along and all of a sudden you can't do the same material again. And so we're constantly learning to adapt to new ways to consume media. But I think that it's not the same now that if you put something in the internet, you can't say it in your show. I think with younger generations that they want to see that. It's not something that I do. Like, I don't like putting stuff up on the internet and then keep doing it. There's a couple of bits that I do, but I think that was probably the case 10 years ago, and I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Tell me about Spics and Specs, because you had a 6-year run on that one, didn't you? And I'm not familiar with it in the UK, but in Australia it was absolutely huge.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that programme.
That was our Never Mind the Buzzcocks, and Adam Hills hosted it. And Adam is kind of responsible for me doing stand-up comedy. So I was on it. I think it was a panel show, and I think I was on it 14 times. And it was an Australian institution. It's I think it was voted like Australia's favourite show of all time. And then it's come back on, and I did it again. Now, when are you actually on till? You obviously we're in the second half now, so you've kind of just joined us. Yes. And so is it the 30th or the 31st you're on till? The 30th is my last one.
30th, yes. Because no one wants to do Dead Monday if they can help it.
No, I think I'm doing a gig on Dead Monday, and I've done plenty of Dead Mondays. But also, it's crazy. Like, school goes back the next day. I'm going to miss my son's first day of school.
Oh my goodness!
Not first day of school ever. He's been at school for a couple of years, but his first day back.
Right.
Yeah, because I'll be on a train.
Yeah. So where's home for you at the moment?
London.
It is London.
I've been there. Do you know what? Because I did The Office, and because I did a show called Time Bandits and filmed that in New Zealand, and because I did Dancing with the Stars, everyone thought I moved back to Australia 5 years ago, and I really haven't. I'm very much here.
Well, that's good to hear. That means we're going to get to see you a lot more. And of course, at the Fringe at the moment, so it's the Cabaret Voltaire 1, which is venue 338 at the Monkey Barrel, which is just round the corner from us here at the Radisson Blu. 3:50 every day, a nice slot. Felicity Ward, thank you for coming in. It's lovely to meet you.
It's lovely to be had.
After the break, I meet up with Laura Claire Brown and Rebecca Wilson, two talented ladies from New York who I met for the first time yesterday, totally by coincidence. They were out there in the rain promoting their show, giving flyers to everybody, and then I dragged them screaming off the streets to talk about Atticwife, which is their new project, and I was delighted to talk to them on Fringe Radio.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody, at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
For 31 years, The Space UK has championed new writing and exciting companies from across the world, giving artists an affordable, supportive and professional platform at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Now presenting one of the Fringe's largest and most diverse programmes across 19 theatres and 6 venues, there's always something new to discover at The Space UK. Explore the programme and book at thespaceuk.com.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Well, it was raining yesterday, quite heavily, and I took pity on a couple of young ladies who were advertising and putting leaflets out for Atticwife, which is a dark feminist comedy about a trad wife in trouble. And so I said, look, let's get out of the rain, shall we? You're standing outside the Radisson Blu Hotel, which is where we are, and come into the boardroom, our little studio here, and let's have a proper talk about it. So let's find out about you. Now, we've got Laura Claire Brown, who's written and performed here, and we've got the director, and that's Rebecca Wilson. And you're not local people at all, you're from America. So let's start with Laura. Whereabouts you from?
I am from Eastchester, New York, so a little bit outside the city, but right now I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Very nice too. And what about you, Rebecca?
I'm from Massachusetts, so very New England girly, but now I'm based in Queens.
Right. Tell me about Massachusetts, because all I know about Massachusetts was a hit song for the Bee Gees.
Well, we actually have the best public education in the country, so I think that's like the best fun fact about it. But yeah, a lot of real serious people, big sports people, not me though.
So you didn't decide to go in the sporting direction?
No.
But you've got to find your place somewhere, and you've obviously gone into writing and directing as well.
Yes, I'm definitely a director-producer. I think this project has definitely been because I sort of just said to Laura, you know what, like, I think we can do it.
Yeah.
I think we can do it. I think we can get to Fringe.
Yeah, absolutely. I started writing the show in 2024, and I called Rebecca with a crazy idea, and I was like, Rebecca, do you think this makes sense? And we met in college, and we've worked together quite a bit. But this was my first full-length play that I wrote. And so passing it over to Rebecca, there's no director I trust more.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, what was the background leading up to this, the playwriting, directing, that kind of thing? Because you don't just suddenly become a director. There's a lot of work goes into it. And you must have, I guess, from an early age, been interested in films or drama or the stage.
Yeah. I've always loved storytelling. I started performing when I was probably in elementary school, but I started writing when I was in middle school, and I started writing comedy sketches, and I would do sketches at school, and so I've always loved comedic writing, but as I got older, I wanted to do more than just comedy. I wanted to get a little bit more into dramedy, and so I've written sketch and I've written prose and poetry for a long time, and then I was like, I really, really want to try a full-length play. And I had this idea, and I really, really liked it. And Rebecca was so encouraging as my director. I came to her about the project before anything was written down.
That's true.
And I don't think it would have been written without her, because she was very much like, okay, then give me 15 pages of it. You've got an idea. I want to see it written down.
And Rebecca, was this your first real involvement in a proper production?
Oh, no. So me and Laura, we met in school, and I was more of an actor at the time, but I directed something my last semester of college, and it was a really pivotal moment because I don't really consider myself much of a performer, but I always just felt so at home in the rehearsal room. So I produced and directed a lot of smaller projects in New York, and me and Laura, actually, before we took it here, we took this, we did like a staged reading in New York at a place called The Tank, and I think we had both done enough productions that we were kind of ready to do something on a larger scale and really get the opportunity for her work to be seen by not just like our friends and family, but like people from around the world, like people who have never met us, and they just walk in off the street and experience some art we've created. So yeah, it's been a long road to get here and a lot of stepping stones, but I feel very thankful for it.
Yeah.
So your own route to this particular performance, this directing Atticwife, again, where did the inspiration come from? Why did you want to be a director?
I think I really want to champion stories that need to be told right now. And that started, honestly, with not enough female playwrights. Even though I think that's a thing we talk about a lot, like, oh, we're uplifting female voices, and this is the age where women finally get to have their work performed. Like, there's a lot of talk about that, but it doesn't actually happen as often as you think it would. And if it is happening, it's happening in really small local festivals, or it's happening in sort of like educational settings, but not in a professional sense. So I really was... Honestly, when Laura told me about this idea, I was sort of on the hunt for like, what do I really want to put my time, energy, money, brain into right now? Like, what do I really think needs to be out there? And this story was it. And once we kind of had these meetings, we were going back and forth, and pages were coming out, I was like, yes. Like, it's funny, it has heart, it's about women at the core, but it's also just a really good piece for people who love women, people who have complicated relationships with their female friends. That's what drove me, is I wanted to direct pieces that I felt really passionate about.
And what about being taught as a director? You would have done some kind of schooling towards this.
Yeah, I've got to say, maybe I shouldn't admit this to you, Laura, at this point. I'm mostly self-taught because I did not focus on this in school at all. But no, I actually do think that so much of being a good director is really understanding people. And having a really good gut instinct. And I think when I meet people, I just have strong feelings about their energy and what they bring to a room and who they are and what they want and what they fear. And I think that is definitely where I take my directing, is it's so character driven. It's so just like, if you put these two people in a room, how are they going to interact? And it's in the dialogue, but I think it's so much more about the way they move in the space and the subtext and, the way that they laugh. So a lot of it is self-taught, but this is by no means my first production. So I've learned a lot before I got here, I swear. No.
But clearly, passion is top of the list, isn't it, on this? Because, there are people who probably aren't that great academically. And I think at the end of the day, if you've got that gut feeling, that gut instinct that you're saying that you've got this drive, you're driving yourself to do something, that's what you're going to put your time into, and that's the results at the end is what you're going to get.
100%, yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, there's one thing you said, Laura, which is you called something a dramedy rather than what we would call a rom-com, I suppose. Are they the same things?
A little different. So I think there's definitely romantic elements in the show, but it is a dramatic comedy. I think I love mixing drama and comedy, darkness and comedy, because I often find that the funnier something is, the more impactful it can be when it gets serious. And I often think that comedy can be a great gateway to talking about more serious subjects, because nobody wants to be preached to, but I think that people can be more open to hearing something that they might not have thought about before, if you can make them laugh before you bring up something serious. And so that was definitely a mission statement when I started writing Atticwife. I was like, I want something that starts funny and then stays funny throughout, but dives into some pretty dark things. And that's been so much fun, not only as a writer, but as an actor to explore, because I've done so much comedic performing, and that's always going to be my great love. But I think that a lot of comedic performers are really good at drama too.
That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's so much fun to get to do both in one show. It is such a blast. It's such a muscle stretching for actors. And I just really, really enjoy it.
So we've heard Rebecca's life story, sort of leading up to that. What's your background?
So I started performing when I was fairly young. I didn't do any like the child acting in terms of like big productions, but my school, I was lucky enough to have some performing in my schools. And I enjoyed it. I always liked being on stage. I did dancing for 12 years and I hated it, but I just loved being on stage. And so I wanted to do that. But then when I finally got into theater, that was where I really found my home. And when I got the chance to start doing comedy, because when you start out, everything's musicals, and don't get me wrong, I love a musical, but like I said, I can't dance. So when I finally was able to start doing comedies, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is something that really makes sense for me. And then in high school, I was really blessed, as many theater people are, to have just a fantastic theater teacher, John Gordiak, and his wife, Karen Zambelli. She was our choreographer, so she put up with a lot of bad dancing from me. And John in particular always really encouraged me with my comedy. I was like, no, I really like this. And then starting in middle school, but really getting serious in high school, I started doing a lot of comedy writing. And then I continued that through college and afterwards. I've written a lot of sketch, a lot of short plays and things like that. But I've always just loved storytelling. I think storytelling is the thing that really, really grabs me, really moves me. Both in telling stories as the physical actor and also being able to write stories. And so I've always wanted to write a full-length play, and then this happened.
But what was the spark that ignited all this for you?
Oh my gosh.
Was it sort of being a little girl watching televisions and films or whatever and just being inspired by it? Or?
I think my parents, especially my mom, she's a great storyteller, and I love listening to her tell stories because she's one of those people who, like, when she tells a story, she really sets the scene, and everybody has a voice, everybody has a physicality. And I think growing up, listening to her and watching her tell stories made that a part of me. And even when I was a small child, I was very imaginative. Like I always wanted to do imaginative games. I was always like, okay, this is my very complicated backstory for my character during House or things like that. And so I think I always, more than even wanting to be like up on stage and like the roses are falling on you and stuff like that, I think I just always really, really wanted to tell stories.
Okay, let's turn to Atticwife then. We've heard about you. It would be a shame, isn't it, if I ended it there and don't even mention Atticwife, which is what it's all about. First of all, I mean, who effectively owns Atticwife? Is this the two of you?
Well, technically speaking, I wrote it, but like I said, it would not exist without Rebecca. Rebecca was
who pays the bills?
Both of us.
We
split everything down the middle.
We've got joint custody of Atticwife.
Yeah.
I think.
To split half of the profits.
I think we'll pay ourselves back. Profits. Ooh, oh boy.
That's a great idea.
You wrote it. You are obviously performing on it. You found your director. And who's Jen Clark?
Oh my gosh, Jen Clark is the best.
She's crazy. We love her.
A wildly, wildly funny and talented comedian. I met her doing improv. We have in Brooklyn, there is, shout out to Young Ethels. Young Ethels is a wonderful bar and performance space in Brooklyn. And they do this thing, the Bar Prov Experiment. And it's a whole bunch of wonderfully talented improvisers who perform 2 Thursdays of every month. And I met Jen through that. After I'd written the show and came up with this character who's her character in the show, Leah, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to find someone who will really bring this character to life. And I was like, wait, Jen would be perfect. Jen is, she's a performer like no one else. She is so, she's so bold. She makes such hilarious choices. But there's also just like this tremendous earnestness to her as a performer. And she is so herself in the best way, and she just brings this character to life in such a fun way. And performing with her is such a joy always.
She is like a cartoon character, like
in the best way.
In the best way, like everyone just recognizes her on the street. It's like, I saw you in Atticwife. Like
she gets stopped a lot.
She is also just so good at just like making friends.
Oh
and
my
like
God.
she just walks around and like people are very drawn to her. So I think that was important for this role because this character is not the most likable. Mm-hmm. You know, like she is someone who was bullied in high school and is sort of like a kind of more geeky tech person. And so I think Jen makes the character, like even when the character's saying things that are just not likable, which both the characters in the play do that. That is sort of the point, is that they're both awful, but they're also both amazing. Jen she really brings a lot. I can't even imagine anyone else playing.
No,
like,
absolutely.
honestly.
There's, she's, like Rebecca was saying, she's lovable even when her character is driving you crazy. And I think that was so important for this show, because it is centering two deeply complicated women who are very, very different from each other. I think that as much as they're both complicated and do stuff that makes you like, oh my God, what are you doing? You have to want to root for them both. Maybe not the whole time, but there has to be moments for both of them where you're like, no, I want her to succeed. I want something good for her.
What's the history then? When did you first write Atticwife?
So I first started writing Atticwife in 2024. I had the idea in the summer, and then I didn't do anything about it until November. But the idea came from, I had been seeing a lot of tradwife content on social media, and I found it very disconcerting. And it's all of these things where it's like a beautiful young woman, and she's like, I have no job, I have 5 kids and I'm 21, and I love my life, and I'm totally financially dependent on my husband, and everything is perfect and it'll always be good. And it's especially disconcerting because these women are always like tremendously wealthy and have huge teams behind them, but they present this content like, oh, I'm doing it all by myself and you should too, which is so misleading. And so I had been seeing a lot of that and being disconcerted by it, particularly by what felt like, at the time at least, a lack of reaction to it. I kept reading the comments on these videos and just seeing people going like, this is great, I wish that was my life. And it's easy to wish that was your life when it's a total fantasy. But what really, really sparked it was, I love to go on Wikipedia deep dives. I love to go on Wikipedia and look at things. I started doing a deep dive about women who had been held in captivity for various reasons. And I read about this woman. She was a French socialite from the 1800s, Blanche Monnier, and she had been, just because she wanted to marry someone that her family didn't want her to marry, they locked her in an attic for over 20 years. And it was awful. And when she was eventually rescued, she was destroyed. The woman that she was totally gone. And from the abuse, the malnourishment, the lack of sunlight even, the person she was ceased to exist. And I was so haunted by that. And I kept thinking, like, that's one of the worst things that I can imagine could happen to a person. And then I had this weird thought of, what if a person chose that? What kind of person would they have to be? And I started thinking about tradwives and thinking about this almost idea of like, I'm completely subservient to my husband and I love it. I'm trapped and I love it. And I thought about a tradwife influencer who is willingly, quote unquote, locked in her attic by her husband. I was like, this idea is nuts, and I really, really want to write it. and so I did. I got started on it with Rebecca, and it probably took me about 6 months to finish the script. I would write a little bit, and then I would meet with Rebecca, show her pages, and she'd ask very thoughtful questions and be like, okay, what happens next? What happens next? Or she'd be like, I noticed this thing here. Are you going to do something about that? And usually the answer was yes. Or sometimes I'd be like, oh, no, I wasn't, and now I will.
Total trust in this lady.
Absolutely.
So it's all written.
Yes.
You got your director on board. Then what happens?
So then we were like, we got to get eyes on this.
Yeah, I think I submitted it for the stage reading and I didn't tell you. I think that
coming out now.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Is I was like, Laura, I just submitted us for this thing, and let's just not worry about it. And then we got accepted, and I was like, okay, so are you down to do this?
And I was, and it was great because we did a couple of small readings before we did the bigger one, and we looked at the script with some trusted friends, and they gave notes. They said, maybe do this, maybe do that. And then by the time we were doing the staged reading, we felt really good about the script. And then the response to the stage reading was really, really positive. And what was funny was literally 2 days after we did the stage reading, I came here for the Fringe. And I was here with a show that I had directed. So totally different thing. It was my first time at the Fringe, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I think the day after I got back, we met.
Yeah, it was August 2025. So it was like a year ago she came back and was sort of like, I had a fun time at the Fringe. And I had gone previously just for fun. So I was like, yeah, I like the Fringe too. And we have this script, you know, that might be kind of good for the Fringe. Might have a good audience there. Should we go? Should we go in a year from now? Should we go to the Fringe? And then we did.
And then you did. That's a big decision, isn't it? A huge decision, because there's 3,600 shows. Only a fraction are actually going to make money. Let's be perfectly honest about it. So much competition about, and I think people come here for the prestige, for the you know, to try and get vindicated for your project and that sort of thing. Meeting people, making your project go a little bit further, and all the rest of it. Is that the hope for this?
Like Rebecca said earlier, I think one of our biggest things was really wanting to get the play in front of an audience that was so different than what we'd experienced. Because, you know, there's so much theater in New York, and a lot of times it can wind up just being like your family and friends come. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with family and friends. But sometimes you really, really want fresh eyes. And we were kind of like, what is a better place to get different eyes on this than the Fringe? And I also think there was an element of like, hey, if we can make this happen, we can make anything happen.
Oh yeah, it was sort of just like, I think we're both in our late 20s, and you know, we're kind of just like, you know what, we haven't done something big enough yet. We haven't taken a big enough risk in our careers and with our art, and like, we should just do it. If we don't do it, then we're not going to. And I think the timing felt right as well. Absolutely. It felt like the right time for the story. It felt like the right time in both of our personal lives. It just felt like everything kind of lined up, and it made sense. And, you know, now that we're towards the end of our run, I think that I would agree with that initial thought we had, which is, I think this was exactly the right thing for us to do.
So a success for you, what would it be?
I feel like we've had a lot of success already.
Yeah, I think we had it. I think within the first week we knew we had it, which is people are coming to see it, and the reception is what we hoped.
Yeah, we've had a really, really good response from audiences. So far, the critical response has been good as well. I think the only thing I want is more people seeing it. You know, we've
finished strong.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to finish strong. We've sold out a few shows, and that has been so amazing. And we've had audiences that have been a little bit smaller but super responsive. And so I think the biggest, at least for the festival, the biggest success for me would be like, let's finish out strong. Let's get some nice, big, responsive audiences for the end, and then we'll see where it takes us.
And Rebecca, I mean, you've mentioned about putting your own money into this, and I'm sure Laura has as well. Doing this sort of thing is not cheap. I mean, there's three fares over, return fares from America to Scotland right off the bat, and the venues themselves aren't massive. Because I think with a play as well, you need an intimate audience sometimes, particularly. I mean, I've seen a few plays, some have been mic'd up for bigger venues and some haven't, and they needed to be mic'd up and you couldn't hear them, and it might have been a fantastic play and everything else, but you're not getting the message across. And it's this fine balance. So when it comes to budgeting as well, it's a very difficult thing to kind of analyse, particularly when you're coming over here and you don't know what the Fringe necessarily is going to be about, what the facilities are going to be like. But it sounds like anyway that at least you're getting appreciative audiences, which is great. I suppose at this point we ought to tell people where they can actually go and see it. Which would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So it's Venue 9, which is Nidri Street, the space at Nidri Street, and it's on to the 25th, so this is your second week effectively. And a change of time, it's now 8:05, and it's part of the space, who obviously support projects like this as well. Just in a sentence, why should people come and see Atticwife, Laura?
You should come see Atticwife to have a night of laughter and tears and complicated emotions, especially if you love women.
Okay, there we are. That was short, sweet and succinct, which most good actors will do. And Rebecca, your turn now.
I think if you should go see Atticwife to support up-and-coming female artists and see a play that really takes you through a lot of different emotions and two very distinct women's journey.
There we are. So that's Atticwife. Do go and see it. You're on to the 25th. As I say, it's right up to the 25th. 8:05 is the time at Venue 9, Nidri Street, which is just around the corner here from where we are at Radisson Blu. And I'm not going to wind up there. I'm going to talk a little bit more because your impressions of Edinburgh, this lovely city of ours.
Oh my goodness. I love it here. I love how cold it is. I love how everything's made of stone. Yes. I love how I can't eat a single vegetable. No, just kidding.
I mean, your favourite bit when you do get sort of time off, because you'll be going back to America soon pretty much, I'd imagine. What memories will you take away from being in Edinburgh?
Oh my gosh. I love all the history. I recently went to one of the cemeteries and was walking around, and I found it so fascinating. I love the old buildings, but I really love the people here. I have been so impressed with how warm the folks in Edinburgh are, and it's so nice. It's so nice because I could easily see people getting real grumpy about there being so many people in their city for a month of chaos. But generally speaking, everyone has been so warm and kind, and I'm definitely going to miss that.
Yes. And what about you, Rebecca?
A lot of the same. I've really been enjoying the history. I love museums, and I love that your museums are free. So I was in the main one, the National today, and then a few days ago I was in the National Gallery, seeing all the paintings, and just also, I think, enjoying a slower pace of life. I know that everyone's like, oh, the city's so crazy. It's like, this is New York on any day, you know? I think if you just step to the outskirts away from the festival, you find just almost nobody over there. Everyone is just quietly sitting at cafes or just coming and going on their lunch breaks or things, and it's nice. It reminds me, honestly, a lot of New England, where I grew up as well. Yeah. So it's nice to kind of slow down, which is an insane thing to say as a person, that the Fringe is me slowing down. But New York is chaotic.
You must have surely gone over the Forth Railway Bridge, have you? Have you done that?
Which one is that?
So. Built in 1890, our famous bridge, our answer to the Golden Gate. Built in 1890. It's an interesting history, because you obviously like your history, but that was built in 1890. That's the railway bridge.
Oh my goodness.
Then 1963, we had the road bridge.
Oh.
And then the road bridge, even though it was 1963, found to have all sorts of defects, and they had to build another one.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got 3 bridges in 3 different centuries. So we've now got the Queensferry crossing. So you've got 3 bridges literally over there.
Oh, that's so
You
neat.
must go over all of them.
I gotta do it.
Yes, before
That's
you go
our
back.
plan for tomorrow, I guess. We'll go on some bridge tours.
Bridge tours, that's it. You can go over it by train, then come back, and you actually walk over one of the bridges as well. It's lovely down there, and you might even be lucky, and you might get 30 minutes of sunshine. So you won't get rained on.
Just a little bit.
Anyway, look, it's been a real joy to talk to you and bump into you, and I love these things where you happen to be out there in the rain. I was coming back. We had a guest who couldn't make it today, so we had to fill with something, and luckily Atticwife just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And I'm really delighted as well, because a lot of effort has obviously gone into this. You know, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of tantrums, no doubt, because you're actors, and that's what happens. But seriously, the best of luck with it, and anyone listening now, before the 25th, get down and see Atticwife. Laura and Rebecca, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
We are so happy for this little Fringe magic moment.
Yes, sometimes things just work out.
They do. More from the Royal Mile Walk from earlier today. That's next.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
I want to tell you a true story. Many years ago, a humble young musical comedian was approached by some radio producers and asked if he might contribute one of his comedy voices to a new segment for their network's most popular show, For many years, this young man delighted in answering questions from people all over the world and bringing a little simple joy to his troubled land, while all the time, nobody knew who he really was. But now his story can finally be told. Mitch Ben is Asking Elvis, coming soon to a theater near you. Thank you very much.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
Florence Nightingale, you've heard of her, but have you heard of Betsy Cadwallader? The globe-trotting, fearless, feisty Welshwoman who defied Miss Nightingale to become one of the first frontline war nurses at the age of 65. Her Story Theatre Company from Newport, South Wales brings Betsy to Edinburgh Festival Fringe, a heartwarming, funny and inventive two-woman play that restores a forgotten Welsh working-class heroine to her rightful place in history. Catch it at the Space at Surgeons Hall, 24th to 29th of August at 1:45 p.m. Suitable for children over 12. Tickets available from the Space box office.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Who do we have here? It's a free show, The Story Master's Tales. And, who is this gentleman?
Hello, my name is Oliver.
Oliver McNeil.
That's me, yes, indeed. I'm actually in guise at the moment. For what you can't see is I'm in a full wizard outfit.
You are indeed. It's very impressive. I thought it was Santa, first of all, but then I saw the wizard.
We have the same hairstylist, so that's all.
Well, you could double up at Christmas, couldn't you?
I could. I do, actually, yes.
I thought you might. So tell us about The Story Master's Tales, then.
Okay, well, I've actually been doing it for 12 years. So started off in my parlour theatre down in East Sussex and Rye. Then it became something bigger. It's actually a role-playing game that I sell all around the world, used in schools and libraries, but it also appeals for all ages. So we have teenagers, adults, even senior citizens who come along. And I do the show at the UK Games Expo, Fantasy Forest, castles all over the place. So it's our Edinburgh debut. Pretty exciting, and we're at part of the PBH, and it's at 12:15 down at the Doghouse.
That's the Brewdog.
It is, yeah, and we've got puppets made by people working Doctor Who. Obviously, the great man himself has a voice. Masks made by myself. I play all the characters.
Wow.
It's fully interactive, so people cast spells. They use props and items and work out the story, and it's really fun. There's nothing like it at all anywhere.
So it goes on to the 30th of August, as you say. It's part of the PBH Free Fringe, and the voice of the great man himself, in his 90s now, I think, isn't he?
92,
Tom Baker,
yes.
MBE. How is he?
He's very well, yes. I was there for his handing over the MBE as well. So, because I've been his photographer for 15 years, we're friends. So he is extraordinary. He still does recordings. He's just done one called Sherlock, which is a radio piece that he's doing on Kickstarter. He's always a pleasure to work with.
Absolute legend. Well, I remember I used to work at BBC Radio Oxford. He used to come in and he used to do voices in the studio there as well. Such a lovely, lovely man. It's great to see him still going strong at 92. Yeah. And his voice, if nothing else, is here at the Story Master's Tales. And we wish you the very best of luck.
I don't know whether it's his Edinburgh debut as well.
Oh, could well be,
couldn't it? Could well be, yeah. Well, that would be good to see.
Excellent. Well, all the best with it, and you certainly look the part.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Back in character.
On to something completely different. It's called Bleep Bleep.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
And who are you?
I'm Bleep Bleep. It's a cartoon theatre show about a man and a robot. Bleep Bleep.
Where is it?
It's at Bristow Square, 135, every day. Bleep Bleep Bleep.
And do you get a day off?
Actually, not. I'm always working. Bleep Bleep. Bleep Bleep.
And this is aimed at the kids, presumably.
It is for kids, also for adults. Bleep Bleep. Bleep Bleep.
Well, the best of luck with it.
Thank you. Bleep Bleep Bleep.
Yes, we get all sorts of things here at the Royal Mile, and there'll be someone else no doubt popping up. There is this one.
Hello.
Hello. What do we have here? This is cut. Oh, we've done this before, but we'll do it again. How's it all going?
So fun, having a great time. It's so good.
Yeah, we've had our first 2 nights sell out, and then the other 2 shows have had very good audiences, very lively, and we've had many good reviews.
And we've only got 50 tickets left for the rest of our run.
Really?
Yes.
And it goes on till August the what?
Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's our final show. Today and tomorrow.
So it's been a great Fringe for you.
Wonderful, it's been so good.
Definitely.
This is your first one?
First one I've performed in. We've come up before just to see the shows, but
when did it all kick
off?
off?
On the 17th.
On the 17th. So we've done a week here. Next year, probably a bit longer.
Maybe.
We hope to. It would be very fun. Definitely been a fulfilling experience, full of.
Tell us quickly about the plot.
It's a play within a play, and it's just so absurd and funny and confusing. Everyone is having a great time and giggling.
Especially the audience.
Well done. We'll see you next year.
Thank you very much.
Well, this is interesting because this lady says I spoke to her last week. I have no recollection at all. But we will speak to her again anyway. And Mortal Sin, she's in. And she's also in A Bad Way.
Yes.
In A Bad Way.
In a Bad Way.
Right. Which one should we talk about first?
We can talk about In a Bad Way. This is my own one-woman show. My name's Isolde Fenton. So I might not have mentioned that last week because I feel like that would be a strange name to remember. It's a one-woman show about hypochondria. It's written in a poetic, stand-up, lyrical kind of style. We've gotten 4 stars from the stage, and it's over at Patter House, Gilded Balloon at 2:20. And then I'm also in Mortal Sin by Benjamin Riley. It's a 1-hour show about 2 teenagers who want a day off school when JFK dies because they got one when the Pope died. It's a lovely, heartfelt, bittersweet comedy about friendship in Ireland in the 1960s. And that is on in the Teviot in the wee room at 12:20. And we're both on for the full month.
Beautifully read.
Thank you.
And the name again was Isolde.
Isolde.
Ireland, of course.
Ireland, of course.
What part of Ireland?
I'm from Limerick, but I'm based in Dublin at the moment, as is Benjamin Riley, the playwright of Mortal Sin. So we're both based in Dublin.
We wish you all the best
Thank
with
you
it.
very much. Cheers.
Well, here's another new one. It started actually on August the 7th, so I don't know how we've missed it, but it goes through to the 29th. It's at the Venue 43 at the Space Symposium Hall, which I think is opposite the Festival Theatre from memory, and it's 2:05, and it's called Sisters of the Seas. And who are you, sir?
My name is Ross Kelby, and I'm an actor performing in Sisters of the Seas.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's a story of the real-life pirates Anne Bonny and Mary Read, 2 women who sort of rejected the social norms of the time and pursued freedom as pirates on the high seas.
So how did you get involved with this?
Well, it's a production performed by Acting Coach Scotland, a sort of acting school based in Govan near Glasgow area. And it's our final sort of performance for the leavers of that college to perform at the Fringe show. And it's an ensemble piece that we put together over 4 weeks, working together, writing the script as we go, sort of thing. And honestly, it's a real fun time, not for kids though, it's a pretty much adult, so 16 plus. But it's honestly been an amazing show. We've done very well so far these last couple of weeks, and you really should come see it. It's a great time. We've worked really hard on it. I promise you it will be a blast.
Well, we look forward to it, and once again it's at Venue 43, the Space Symposium Hall, until the 29th of August, and it starts at 2:05. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for talking. Thank you very much. Come see Sisters of the Sea.
Fractured. Let's talk about Fractured. BJA Productions presents, and the writer is Shona Graham. She's with me at the moment doing not only the writing, but she's flyering as well and doing a grand job. And 12:50 at the Cowgate, Underbelly, and it goes right the way through to the 30th of August.
That's the one.
Tell me about this Fractured, Shona.
Oh, gladly. So it's about a woman falling through time. She's been in a car crash and gotten a head injury, and she's trying to piece together what happened that night, and sort of the audience are with her too, before it's too late. And there's 4 of us in it, so cast of 4 fantastic actors. I'm saying that about myself, but I mostly mean the others as well. As I said, it's on in Underbelly Cowgate at 10 to 1 every day. The audiences have been saying very, very lovely things about it, describing it sort of a trippy, pacey mystery drama, and would love to see you there.
Now, is this the first time you've written something like this?
This is my first full-length play, and it's my first time having a show at Edinburgh.
How did you get involved in this?
Oh, so it's the first thing I sat down to try and write. First full-length play. I started in 2022, so it's been 4 years coming. And I was trying to write a one-person show. Didn't succeed in that, but did manage to write something that I'm really proud of. It's sort of changed a lot over the last 4 years, but it's finally got to a place where it's sort of ready for its first audiences.
And it's a very competitive business. Is this something you want to do full-time?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm a performer and writer by trade, have been for sort of almost 9 years now. So absolutely, this is me for the long haul, I fear.
And the Fringe keeps you grounded, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, feeling so grounded.
Doing your own leafleting and everything.
Yeah, well, you've got to be out here sort of doing the work, and I'm so proud of the show and the team. So yeah, just trying to get sort of the audience that we think we deserve.
I'm sure you do as well. Fractured is the name of it, 12:50 every day till August the 30th at the Cowgate, Underbelly. Thanks, Shona, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right, well, finally today, let's have a look at Bliss, because it's at the Pleasance Courtyard at 1 o'clock, all the way through to Dead Monday, 31st of August. And of course, if you don't know where the Pleasance is by now, it's venue 33, and it's got tons and tons of mini theatres. So Bliss is what we're talking about, the musical. Got one of the stars here.
Hello, I am Jordan Calloway and I play Prince Devon. I'm like an entitled pop star prince who's looking for the perfect princess.
Tell us about Bliss.
So it's basically about 4 princesses who are locked in a tower, and they break out and they find they're in a world of perfect princesses, but they're all a bit unique themselves, and they find that they have to follow social norms to become the perfect princess. And one of the characters, Piper, meets her fairy godfather who takes her to a pink lagoon and makes her a perfect princess, but she loses everything about herself. So it's kind of teaching everyone to be their authentic self and not follow, Instagram trends and influencers and stuff like that with like a theatre fairy tale twist on it.
And where does the cast of Bliss come from?
So we're all over. We've got Akshara, who plays Bliss. She's American. Then I'm from Manchester. We've got a couple of people from Devon, a couple of people from London, the North. Yeah, we're all over. But we rehearsed in London and then came down to the Fringe. We're a cast of 17, so I think it's the biggest at the Fringe.
And how's it been going? Because you started on the 5th.
Yeah, we've been sold out every day. We've got a couple of tickets left for today. That's why we're just like last minute flyering before our show at 1 p.m. But yeah, other than that, we're sold out every day. Yeah, 750 seater. So yeah, can't complain.
This is big stuff, this.
Big stuff.
And you're starring. You're at the very top of the tree.
Yeah. It's fun. I get to sing a couple of good dance bangers, which is good. Yeah, it's fun.
Is there a soundtrack album on Spotify?
Yeah, on Spotify it's Bliss the musical. There's only a couple because they did it pre-COVID, and then COVID hit, and then they had to stop the musical. So this is the first time it's been on stage since COVID. Yeah.
So which one should we play on the radio?
Through the Night. That's my song.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm surprised you jumped at that.
Yeah, it's a great dance song, so you can all bop along. Yeah, it's great.
And just finally, United or City?
United.
So you'll be thrilled that City lost the Shield?
Yes.
How are they going to do this season, though?
Hopefully well. But yeah, time will tell.
Do you go down to Old Trafford?
Yeah, I do occasionally. I go with family members. So yeah. So depends if I'm not in the West End with Bliss.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll see.
Well, congratulations, Henry. You've obviously risen to great heights.
Oh, thank you so much, mate.
And we look forward to seeing you again next year.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you.
So that's all we have time for today's Royal Mile Walk. Of course, it's our best of compilation programme tomorrow, but we'll be back with another Royal Mile Walk on Sunday.
You're the one who become mesmerizing, hiding in the crowd, but I know you're there. You're my heart, work of art, hypnotizing. Run away, I'll follow you anywhere. Come on and sound the trumpets, heartbeat thumping, 'cause the prince is having a ball. And when I see you on the dance floor, oh, oh, I know I won't be searching anymore. And so I'm kinda like, dance with me through the night, oh, dance with me through the night. Oh, I wrote you a note, it went viral. Everybody's coming from all the land, getting sight for the likes up in my eyeball. We're gonna party in the way only royals can, and it's so unreal. Break the ceiling when we all take over the floor, and when you're moving like a mystery, oh, oh, I'm gonna shout it to the galaxy, and I'll be kinda like, dance with me through the night, oh, dance with me through the night, and we'll do it live, oh, oh, send our emotions into overdrive, and I'll be kinda like, dance with me through the night, oh, dance with me through the night. Inside, down the hall, there's a diamond mirror on every wall. Be mine, follow me, got a ping pong table and a trampoline. Check out the back garage, got a pinked out carriage and an entourage. Take 5, decompressed in a hot jacuzzi with a hot princess.
See her, show you around, take you from lost to found.
Come on, you can touch my crown. Oh!
Come on down to the dance floor. Oh, I know I won't be searching anymore. And so
I'll be kinda like, dance with me through the night, oh, dance with me through the night, oh, dance with me through the night, oh, dance with me through the night. Music from the brilliant Bliss, who have been here for the whole run and have had a string of sellouts, just a few tickets remaining for their remaining dates up to August the 31st at the Grand. Finally today, formed in 1973, the Edinburgh Renaissance Band has a long history of performing European medieval and Renaissance music at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Known for utilising authentic period instruments like crumhorns, shawms and viols, the ensemble is a staple of Edinburgh's grassroots summer performance culture. Their Saints and Sinners concert entertained audiences at Castle Terrace earlier this week, and on Sunday the 23rd they return with their popular Viol Racket show at St Celia's Hall, that's venue 77, from 3 p.m. to 4 o'clock. Stuart McFarlane spoke to singer and musician Pat Jones, as well as musical director Professor Murray Campbell.
We include music. In fact, in this particular concert, we had music right from 1100, the Hildegard of Bingen, right up to mid-17th century music. Okay, so that's one thing, variety. And the other thing is we try to always include in our Fringe programmes some Renaissance Scottish music, because many visitors from abroad will not have heard that before.
I mean, it's a very impressive sound in this venue, and it's a venue presumably you know pretty well now.
Yeah, fairly well. I think we were here from the time that St Cecilia's Hall was closed by the university while they were upgrading the University Museum of Early Instruments, and we had to find another venue then. And at the time we came to St Mark's. It's one of the very few venues in the Fringe that they will do individual concerts. Most of the big venues, you have to be there for the whole 3 weeks, and if they say it's at 11:30 at night, that's when you do it. And we're too old for that now.
No, I can understand and appreciate that. What you specialise in is performing with medieval instruments, to get that sound, to get that authentic sound that you're looking for in each concert. Now, tell me first of all, where are the instruments sourced, and where do you go if any of them require some repairs?
Indeed, that's a very good question. Well, some of the instruments are actually modelled on originals which are in the university collection at St Cecilia's Hall, and that's particularly nice when we go back there, of course, because we can say, if you want to see the original of this copy, go and look in the museum afterwards. Some of them have been actually made by friends of ours. For instance, the viol that Patsy was playing this evening was made by Richard Jones, one of our friends who makes viols down in Powfoot in south of Scotland. if we needed them repaired, then that's a bit of a problem, actually. Yes, there are specialists now that do that. Sometimes we just have to repair them ourselves.
Well, I did wonder that if you were actually skilled in the art of repairing. I mean, do you have to go as far as London to find specialists?
Well, yes, that's right, and sometimes even abroad, actually. I mean, some of the sackbuts, for instance, the early trombones that our trombone players play, are made by very specialist makers in the Netherlands or Germany, and if something goes wrong with them, they'd go back to the original maker for a repair.
Now, tonight's performance was very similar to one in the year 2000. How often do you tend to go back to favourite musical scores because you know the audience will appreciate the sound?
I don't think there were any pieces the same, it just had the same title, because we thought it was rather good. There's quite a few saints, but there's lots of sinners around at the minute.
Well, I think that applies not just in medieval times, but in modern times as well. So tell me a little bit more about Sunday's performance.
Yeah, well, we call that one the viol racket show. It's a kind of joke because there's viols playing in it, and there's also instruments called rackets. But viol racket, of course, is what some people might think we sound like. We think we sound wonderful.
Do you have a favourite show, a favourite performance, and all the time you performed at the Fringe, going back to the formation of the band at the Fringe in 1973?
Yeah, I think this viol racket show is the one which is a bit more similar from year to year, because that's the one where we really talk to children, show them the instruments, and let them hear a big variety. Maybe we play 40 or 50 different instruments in the course of an hour between us. And that's such fun. That's what we do.
And will the hurdy-gurdy make an appearance?
Oh yes, it will do, certainly. The Renaissance hurdy-gurdy, well, the medieval hurdy-gurdy was actually called the symphony, believe it or not. So we do perform a symphony with just one person turning a handle.
Because the previous time I've heard you perform, that instrument did feature a couple of times, and that would be a year past April. So, I mean, the name alone fascinates people.
Yeah, that's right, yes. And there's all sorts of interesting instruments, like the racket, for instance, is another one where the name fascinates people, and it's not at all what you think. And there's the instrument called the serpent, which I didn't think of mentioning in today's concert, actually. But
was that a black snake-like? Yes.
It's one of the most spectacular instruments in the band.
And of course, just to finish with, there's some dancing on Sunday as well, so it's not exclusively music.
Yes. It's lovely to have our friends from the Edinburgh Early Dancers who do historical dance in costume, in period costume. So sometimes they're in 15th century or 16th century, and I think they're doing 4 or 5 dances this year, which is just enough to give the audience a taste for what they would look like being performed properly to the right music on the right instruments.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and thanks again for entertaining us tonight.
The Edinburgh Renaissance Band, they'll be performing their live viol racket show on Sunday at 3 o'clock. The 11-member troupe will showcase rare period instruments and historical dance at St Celia's Hall, which is venue 77. And that wraps things up for today. We'll be back on Fringe Radio again tomorrow, looking back on last week's programmes. Thanks much indeed for listening, and from me, Stuart Cameron, and the team, bye for now.